Hello gorgeous souls and welcome to my channel, and in this video I'm just going to talk about being kind to ourselves. And it is something that we kind of take for granted. We can do so much for others and always rushing around, whether it's the chores, the housework, working, sorting the kids out, doing the ironing, the cooking, the cleaning, and it just bogs you down, drags you down, and you just feel ugh and ugh. And everybody does it, unless you've got your cleaners and all things like that. But I don't have a cleaner, I have to do it all myself. So yes, it gets you down. And when the kids aren't helping you as well, that's just another one. So what I am saying in this video is make sure that you take time for yourself, whether it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour. If you can, just have that time to yourself. This morning I went out, I had a walk to myself. I went into town on my own because the kids are off on holiday next week, well, as of tomorrow, and I just know I'm not going to get that time. It's going to be constant no, mummy do this, mummy, and you just don't. And if you've got kids and you're a single mum on your own, then you realise that you are their entertainment. If they're not doing something else or they're bored of the tablets or whatever, you entertain them. And with me, mine are just glued to me. So I've had that time to myself. I've refueled myself, I've grounded myself, I've prepared myself to not have as much time to myself next week, just to enjoy my time with the kids. As much as we can be like, oh, I don't want it, but if we look down to it, if we put all that negative, oh, it's the holidays, it's going to be this, kids are going to play up, we're going to be naughty, and then they will. So it's rewire how you think, put that positive. I'm going to enjoy this time with my kids, it's going to be amazing, and I'm going to show myself some kindness if you can have 5 minutes or 10 minutes each day, whether it's just a cup of tea on your own and you say no, leave me alone, let me have this time, and then I'll be with you. And it's all about prioritizing. And sometimes kids can understand and give you that time, and others they can't, and they just want you to just play. As my little girl just wants to play all day long. And it's like, people say to me, why are you so busy with your kids? And it's like, well, people think she's got ADHD a few years ago, but she's just got so much energy. She needs to channel it out and do stuff. So that's why I'm always outside with them, as it's the easiest way for them to burn their energy off. They can run around. When it's summer, they can have the shoes off. They can ground themselves to Mother Earth. And a lot of our children, they need that. They need to feel safe, and they don't feel safe. Like, we talk about us feeling safe in our body and bringing that feminine energy down and and blah blah blah, but our children, they sometimes don't feel safe in their body. So helping them in that way. And if they're emotional as well, like my boy is so emotional at times, and he's got such low self-esteem at times, so helping him and being outside once you've talked him out, and he loves it, he loves being in the water, it just helps him ground and connect. And now he realizes himself. When he was younger, he used to be like, I feel a bit better, but I don't know why. And now he knows. So he knows that going out is good for them, and it helps you connect to them as well. And just with that, I know it can be hard to be kind to yourself, especially if you're arguing with them and falling out with them. And that's just normal. Don't beat yourself up if you do. I know I have done in the past, but we all have those disagreements with our children and we want to be right. But the easiest way, what I've been finding lately, is my boy has constantly got to be right, and he loves to control every outcome. Everything I do is like having that nagging husband, but worse. And you just think, why, you're my son. But it just is. In past lives, he's been the parent, I've been the child, so we kind of keep swapping roles in different lives. So I think that's why we kind of have the things that we do right now. But I have learned that not arguing back, even though you want to prove yourself right, you can't, because you're talking to a child. They don't understand that not arguing and whatever is going to help them, and they don't realize that. So I've learned to just not argue, take the deep breath, and listen to the advice that I have been given. Is just take a deep breath, walk away, not arguing, and then that just lets him cool down. much more quicker than it has before, than me getting riled and me arguing back and falling back and shouting back, because you're the parent, you know you're right, but you can't prove to them you're right, especially if your kids are like mine and they just want to argue back all the time. So just walk away. I've walked away, and I'm not talking, that's it now. I've said my bit, you know you've upset me, and I just walk off. And that seems to be working, so fingers crossed we can carry on, and this will help with his insecurities and all those other things. But while all this is going on and you've got the holidays and stuff, just remember to be kind to yourself. And you might be buying the extra treats for your kids to keep them quiet, but then go and get yourself a little something too, whether it's a bunch of flowers or a hot drink when you're out on a walk or something, or a little crystal or a new lipstick. It doesn't have to be like expensive and massive. Just don't forget to treat yourself as you're treating them, because then we can begrudge spending that money. So give yourself that little bit of treat too. And if you can have time for yourself, whether it's when they've gone to bed and you have that hot relaxing bath, or a nice shower or something, or you just sit with nothing, no whatever, no telly on, no music on, and you just and just let everything just flow out, and that helps as well. So don't say those hard words to yourself. We can all do that and say we're a bad parent, we're a bad mum, I did this and blah blah blah. I'm my own worst enemy in the past for that, and it just keeps you feeling negative and rubbish, and then the kids pick up on that energy as well. So stop with the bad talk. You are doing an amazing job as being a mum, and in times are tough. I mean, we go through ups and downs and emotions. Our children have been through so much with lockdown, so they're emotional and anxious and all this. So it's just juggling them, juggling us, and coming to a balance. And I know for me, all I want is balance in my house. I'm not one of those mums who's just like, oh, get upstairs, get out of my way. I like us all to be together and have that calmness and that balance, and that's what I strive for. But sometimes you just can't get that, and it's just, you fall out and you argue, and it happens, and we can't beat ourselves up over that. We just need to learn and see what we can do to make that not happen as much. And when you have got those insecure kids and they're fighting for each other's attention, for your attention, and arguing amongst themselves, that kind of makes it difficult too. And it's just giving them that equal time and your time, and that helps as well. And that's helped me a lot in the past. And I know, like, my new partner who's come into my life, it's like, wow, you kind of have to be on the ball of what you're doing and what you're saying to one, because they're paying attention, they're on it. Well, you've just spent more time with her and you've spent more time with him, so you're constantly having to think and plan. But all I can say is our kids will not be kids forever, and you've just got to give them the best start, all the love, be there for them, support them, and just know that in those challenging times when they are arguing with you and wanting to confront you all the time, that these times don't last, and it's all how you react to it. And the more you argue and fight your corner back, that's just keeping it going. And it's best to just say your piece, don't raise your voice, walk away. It has been working. I've noticed this last week with my boy, it's been changing, and it's just like, oh, and then he'll go off in a huff, and then he comes back, I'm sorry, apologizes, and then we kind of start again. And I'm not saying just ignore them and be cruel, because then that would just be horrible and just mean, and don't do that. But just don't raise your voice at them, as I know how hard it is. And you hear and think, oh, you're just talking crap to not raise your voice. I've always screamed and shouted at mine, and it gets you nowhere. And do they respect you more for it? No. And we all want respect from our children, but we've kind of got to give it them, and we need to lead the way, really. So if they're not talking to us nicely and we don't like what they say, then that's it, walk away. Tell them, I'm not going to talk to you, I am not going to answer you back or anything, because I don't like the way you've spoke, and walk away. If you need to take the games off them, the phones, then do that. That's what I've been doing, and it seems to be working. And giving them those little extra tasks, getting them to help around the house so they can earn money for the treats. And I'm not talking like giving them loads of money, because I I'm not going to do that, because I don't believe kids nowadays all think they're entitled to, I want £20 a week, £30 a week. No, don't work like that. You can do your chores and help and stuff like that, and then go and get a job when you can, not just hands out from mum and dad, because once they have that so young, they'll carry on expecting it. Then when it comes to getting a job and they only get paid £4 an hour, well, why should I do all that work when mum and dad can just give me 30 quid a week? So that's what I've always been getting. So that's just another something just to be wary of, and get them helping more, and give them that little reward, whether it's 10p or 20p for doing something, and then they can buy something. Like this week, my kids have saved their money and they finally got to enough money to earn an ice cream, and they were over the moon, like, yay, I got my ice cream. So then they'll steadily build that up again. And just by making the beds, I mean, that's a massive one. For mine, getting dressed and ready in the morning and being ready on time was another one. Like, going to school was a nightmare. We still are the last ones there, to be fair, but we're not late, and we're not doing it as a screaming, rowing, get ready, get your clothes on, brush teeth, blah, blah, blah. Now it's, we do it, we get out of the house. Yes, we might not be exactly the first there, but to me, that doesn't really bother me. There's lots of people and masks and blah, blah, blah. I don't like that. I'd rather be the last one walking up the field, and then it's less people and less energy to go about. So yes, lots can change, and if you are really struggling with your children's behaviour and they are older and they are fighting you back more, and say they're 14, 16, then try hypnotherapy if they're willing to try. I know I did hypnotherapy on my boy as he wouldn't sleep and he was terrified, and just by taking away those things that he was scared of, helped him just settle easier and fall asleep easier, and he wakes up feeling fresher and brighter. And we all want that, as he was so grumpy in the morning and wouldn't get up, and he's not slept. And now he's first one ready, whereas always used to be my little girl. Now it's him who's ready, organised. Oh, I'm ready, I've got this on, da 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 da. And it's like, okay. So yes, you could try that. That is a really good thing to try. But with all of this, I've kind of talked about lots of different things going into one, but just remember to be kind to yourself as a parent, and that you are doing an amazing job. There is no right or wrong way of doing anything. Read different things, take advice and try it, and don't feel bad if it goes wrong and it doesn't work for you. I have read many a things, many a books and all sorts of things, and when he was a baby, all this control crying, do this, do that, we tried it, and I'm talking when you are listening to them screaming for hours and hours, for days, and it doesn't change. Control cry was not for me. So he ended up in my bed, and he was in my bed till he was 6. And yes, some people can frown on that, but that was him, and he was very susceptible to energies around him. And did he feel safe? He woke up screaming, and as he got older, he kept saying he could see things, and yes, he could. So he was just more in tune to seeing spirits, and he was seeing him in his sleep and around him and feeling him. So it's like we got rid of that soul contract, so he doesn't see them anymore, even though now he's like, well, I want to see them, Dad. It's like, well, no, you can't redo it, kind of thing. So yes, there's lots of different things you can do as being a parent, and read so many things, but there is no right or wrong answer. It's just trying and seeing what works best for you. So sending you lots of love, and be kind and nice to yourself. And as you're treating the kids, always treat yourself too, so you don't begrudge what you spend and just think, well, I end up with nothing all the time and all they do is play up and be naughty. So if you give yourself that little bit of treat too, give yourself the time if you can, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, ask them to just leave you alone for a minute. I do it all the time. It's like, okay, mummy wants her time now, I need to just chill. Or they'll say, mummy's meditating now, so leave her alone. So they do eventually understand and get it. And give your children the equal time. If it's one-on-one, give it them. They love your time and attention more than anything. And if they just sat on a game all day, then they are going to be horrible and nasty and play up more. Whereas if you are doing things together as a family and doing things separately with them, and they're getting your time and attention, they will feel just more love and more security from you, and then that they are that little bit special in your eyes, because kids can be a little bit insecure and think that we don't love them. And my boy used to think if I shouted I didn't love him, so I hated him, and he had that in his own subconscious until we did hypnotherapy. And it's like, no, I don't hate you for shouting, but I get angry at how you behave sometimes, and stuff like that. And he understands. So now it's like I try my best never to scream and shout. Even sometimes you can, if it's been too much and it's been a bad day and your energy's low, and then things happen. But now it's like I'm subconsciously and consciously, nope, we are just going to walk away, walk away, as tough as that can be, as no one wants to be having fisticuff fights with their children. And I can feel and sense that that's coming with my boy, as he did used to hit and attack me, and now when he gets so angry and frustrated, he does want to lash out, and it's all learning different ways. And since we've been doing the whole I'm not going to talk to you, I'm not going to get in that argument and walk away, it seems to be working for us. So that works for me. Whether it might for you, you could try it, it's up to you. But there's no set in stone way of bringing up kids. It's one of the most hardest, challengingest, learning different things. We learn different skills and they test us, and that's what we signed up for. So, see you, lots of love, take care, bye bye.